So in this video, I am going to install the most popular open source database, that is the PostgreSQL on the Kubernetes. And after that, once the database is installed in Kubernetes, then I mean, expose that service using a NodePort. And once the port is exposed, then I can connect from my window host from using some PostgreSQL UI tool, that is PGadmin, so that it is easy to manage the database. Okay, so let me go ahead to jump the demo. So I have one Kubernetes cluster, that is a single node Kubernetes cluster. You can see here one control plane is running, and the version is 1.32.5. Okay, so let me go ahead to install this open source database, that is the PostgreSQL. So you can get all information from the PostgreSQL database documentation page, and here you can see the latest release. The latest is 17.5. Let me pick the 16, that is the previous version, like 16 dot something. Okay, so you can get all information from here in the download phase. Okay, you can see here in the download phase you can get all information, all the supported OS, but we are going to install in Kubernetes. Okay, so that's why we need some Docker image. So hopefully it is available in the Docker repo. So I already created one folder for this one, pgsql something, and all the manifest file I kept inside this folder. Okay, so the first thing is that we need to create one config map where we can store all the postgre variables like environment variables. Let me show you that file. So you can see one config map I created where I kept all the data, I mean the key value pair. Like I need this environment variable like postgre db name, postgre username, and the postgre password. Okay, these are the basic thing I need to inject to the postgre uh, image, that is the Docker image. Okay, so that's why I kept all these things handy. That is DB name, DB username is PG user, and DB name is PGDB, and the password is PG password 123. So let me go ahead to quickly show you the our deployment. Let me clear the screen so it is easy to visible. Yeah, so you can see one I created one deployment, and the deployment name I put like postgres, and I initially I put it like replica count 1, and these are the nodes, I mean the selectors. And you can go to this container section. You can see here I use the older version, like the latest version is 17. I just pick one version behind, like that, I mean dot 16. Okay, so another thing is that I expose the container port in 5432. And this one is the important thing. Whatever config map we are going to create, I want to import all this key value pair from that config map. Okay, I put that name like config map, postgre cm config map, and whatever things key value pair they are mentioned, I need to refer those things and inject it inside this container image. Then another thing is that persistent, as this is a database, we need some of the persistent volume. Like earlier, we already deployed the MySQL, the same concept. We need the persistent volume. So for the persistent volume, I created one PVC using my storage class. Let me show you that one. Simple this command. This is my PVC, very simple file PVC. Your kind is PVC, and most important thing is that you need to put your storage class name. So since we are using some local storage, that is Rancher, this provisioner. Okay, so this is using local storage, and I put that name. And initially I put like my storage requirement is 2 GB or something. Okay, so let me go ahead to show this one deployment file. You can see you need to whatever the I'll show you 1 second. Yeah, whatever the PVC name you defined in the PVC file, those PVC name you need to refer here when you define the volume name is this one, and which PVC it should refer. This name should be matched with your PVC name. Okay. So let me define one volume, that is PostgreSQL data or something. Any name you can put here, and the same name you can put here when you mount that volume. Okay. And this mount path is fixed one. You cannot change this one because this mount path is need by this image. Okay. So basically the postgre will save your data inside this data, and the this data folder is referencing to our persistent volume claim, that is pvc. Okay. So this is the flow, and I created one service. You can see one service. That service, I think it is exposed using NodePort. You can see I defined one service, that is NodePort, so that I will remotely access to this service using my cluster IP and the port number. Okay, so I will show you how to perform all these things. Let me clear the screen, and these are my all files: one config map, one deployment, and one PVC, and one service. Okay, let me go ahead to create one namespace, and I am going to deploy the all my manifest related to pgsql to that namespace. Okay, so suppose let me create one namespace, create namespace like pgsql or something. Hopefully one namespace should be created. You can see one namespace just now created, and I am going to deploy all my PostgreSQL related manifest to that namespace. So let me k hyphen n your postgre pgsql, that is the namespace, then apply hyphen f dot. Okay, instead of mentioning all the files like hyphen f file 1 file 2 file 3 like that, you can simply put dot, so that it will pick all this file from your current working directory, that is pgsql, and it will deploy all the manifest to this namespace. Okay, so let me go ahead to uh, deploy this one. Now we can see the config map is created, then after that the deployment is created, then pvc, then the service. Okay, hopefully it will take some time to pull the image, that is the postgre image. So let me check the status, get all. Now you can see one PostgreSQL database is deployed, is in running status. So it basically pulling the image. That is the PostgreSQL 16, I think we mentioned inside the deployment. And after that it exposed the port to this one. That is the 30,000 something. And you can see the deployment looks good. Also your replica set, that is we are using initially one replica. You can, after that you can scale up this replica. Okay. And you can check the pvc should be in bounded state because the pod is ready. Get pvc, you can see the pvc is provisioned and it is bounded to your PostgreSQL pod, and is provisioned from this storage class, and the size is 2 GB. Okay. So let me go ahead to check the status of this database. So how to check that? Simply you can go to exec into that pod. So first thing is that you can check the pod status k-n your namespace and get pod. You can get the PostgreSQL database pod. You can pick that one, and you can use this command. So basically how to enter to that pod, k-n, that is keep control hyphen n your namespace exccit, then you replace your database pod name, then you can use this cell. Okay, you can jump to this cell and use this command. Okay, like psql is the PostgreSQL command. Okay, then since we are using the same localhost, That is localhost. Username we put like in our config map, we put the username like pg username, and the password we need to mention in the next step. It will ask for the password instead of mentioning in the command line. And the port number, in inside the deployment we expose the port like 5, the default port, that is the 5432, and your database name whatever defined inside the config map, same database name you can put here. Okay, so let me execute this command. Hopefully you should jump inside this Postgre database cell. Now it asks for the password, so we need to put whatever password you mentioned here in the config map. I put that one. So now we can see the Postgre database prompt is coming. Okay, it's like same like SQL prompt. Okay, but the prompt is something different. So now we can. I think everything is ready. I exit from that and let me, since I'm going to expose the, I already exposed that port. You can see my service is exposed on the node port, this one. So I can access this service outside of my cluster using the node port. Okay, so for that I need one cluster IP. So get node hyphen y, I mean y, wait. Okay, you can see I have using one single node cluster, and the cluster IP node IP is, you can pick any of the cluster node IP. Since I'm using single node, so I can pick this one, and you can pick this node IP. Okay, so that it will automatically redirect to your 5432, that is the Postgre database port number. Okay, so let me pick this one. And before that, we need to install your UI tool like the PGSQL. So I'll show you. You can see here in this page, there is one UI is there, so that remotely you can connect to your database. Okay, so similarly we covered some of the like for the MySQL we used like MySQL workbench, that is the UI tool. The same like for the PG, I mean for the Postgre you have PGadmin tool is there. Okay, so yeah, there is for we can pick the window version. If you're using some of the different ways, you can similarly you can check that one. Okay, so the latest version is PGadmin4 9.5 or something. I think I have taken this one. I already installed that one because it needs some system reboot, so that's why I already installed this one and rebooted my system. And you can search here in your PGadmin4 is coming. Okay, so just click this one. So after that this page will open. So first thing is that we need to connect to our remote Kubernetes, that is PostgreSQL deployed inside Kubernetes. Okay, so I need to pick this, since it is exposed in node port. So I can pick in my cluster IP, I mean the node IP, that is 26. So first create connection. You can mention like PGQ. My IP address is 26, like that. Any name is fine. Then click on connection. Either host name on the service must be specified, yes. And the connection you need to put this one. Okay, because we are connecting to this remote database using node port. So I put this one, and here you need no need to put this port number like 543 to the default port, but we are going to use this one, that is the node port. Okay, because we expose that service using node port. Okay, so that's why we need to put this one. I put this node port number, and your username, whatever username you mentioned here, that is pg user something. Okay, where that window, yeah, username is pg user, and your, let me see, then it will ask for the password. You can use this password, whatever you mentioned inside the config map, same password you can use here. and no need to pass any parameters. Let me save this one. Yeah, so now we can see one statistics window or something is coming. All the database information is showing, and if you click it here, it will show you some of the database name. Since we have created the pgdb or something, yeah, so now we can see the schema is coming, all the information is fetched. One default schema is there, like public schema. Okay, and lot of window you can see the properties. It will show you all the database properties. Okay, and the sql prompt also showing, process also showing, dependent, all the information you can get from there. And you can see, you can explore all these things. Here you can see some of the tool, like query tool is there. You can execute query, I think, here. Okay, so since it's connecting to my database, like remote database, which is running inside kubernetes, so let me create some tables. If you click on here, like tables, I think no tables is there because this is the fresh database. Let me create some table. Okay. And from the command line itself, you can create all these things, like using this command. The password is this one, pg password. Okay, so the command is like some dt something. Okay, you can see no tables is fetching because no tables is exist there. Let me from the ui, let me create one table. Okay, one second, let me from the pgdb, I mean this menu, tools, query tools. Here you can put, I have some sample table is there. Let me try to create this one. Create table, table name, and your field name and data type. All these things mentioned here. Let me execute this one. You can see one execute button is there, execute script, and you can see in the message one table is created might be. Okay, so if you click on the table section, hopefully one table should be created. Okay, okay, let me check this one. From the command line itself, we can check this one. The same command dt. You can see one table might be created. The table name is employee, type is table. Let me insert some of the database, I mean the rows. Let me insert some of the records from the ui. I insert one record, employee, having id 1 and email, like that. Let me insert this one. What, this one? Yeah, some space or something is there. So now it's successfully inserted those things. And let me query this one. Select start from your table name and execute this query. Now you can see whatever record we inserted, those are fetching from there. And the command line itself, you can get all the information, like the same command, whatever we mentioned here. I think we missed this semicolon. Now we can see one record is fetched from your table. And similarly, you can insert as many records if you want. So this insert into statement basically insert multiple records. You can see here, either you can insert from here or from ui itself. You can insert and execute this one. You can see four number of records is inserted, and you can check the same thing from the command line itself. Now I can see all the four records as reflected here. Okay, so similarly, if you want to Suppose I want to install, insert one record having employee id 3 or something, then let me use this command. Okay, here I'm from the command line, I'm going to insert the record number 3, that is the employee id 3. Let me see. Now one record is created. Let me fetch this record. You can see one record, the latest record is inserted there, and from the UI itself, hopefully we'll get those records also. Okay, select star from, what is the table name? This is your table name. From here, I think it will execute this one. Yeah, now we can see whatever record we inserted there, that the latest record, the last one, it is already showing it here. Okay, so this way you can explore all the features what is available in the PGadmin UI, so that it is easy to manage the your database. And once you completed all these things, you can exit your database prompt, that is the pgdb something. Okay, so hopefully all the pods should be in running state. You can see get all, your pod is in running state, service is off, and your deployment is there, and your replica set is there. If you want to scale this replica to 3 number of instance, you can use this command. Okay, cube control scale your deployment, whatever deployment name is there, you can put that name and scale number of replica like 2 or 3 like that. So after that, you can see one more pod should be created and one pvc should be provisioned. Okay, like you can see one pvc is there, PVC is there, then one more PVC should be created. Okay, this is all about your database, how to deploy the PostgreSQL database. After that, I will clean up these things. If you don't need, then I will clean up that one. Okay, so the cleanup procedure is remains same. Delete -f dot. Okay, since I am inside this directory, all manifest are there. So simply, if you put the dot, then it will delete all the things from your Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so since I need some time, so that's why I keep all these things. Thank you guys.